who aren't here, and we will we'll start. Anyway, today I'm trying the first ever live lab or online lab. I'll do a demonstration for today's assignment or this week's assignment, and we'll try to set it all up, and then it's up to you to do your own version. Anyway, here, just to catch up, using a different browser, I've been able to read and download and see your assignments from last week a little better. So I should have these graded by the end of the day. Again, Cassandra's is all really, really good. The only thing here, it flows well. The only thing is, need a dominant element at the top. This being the same size as the other subheads, you don't always know where to look to start. Having a more dominant head, you start there and move down. And then these a little heavy should look the same as the sections above it. Good overall though. Again, Haley's was really good. I like, again, that dominant element here, dominant and light, that fosters as what we call movement. You move across the page. It's not static. That's really, really good. The one thing here is what we call the break. This is called a widow line because it's all alone. So you can eliminate a space here or make something a little smaller to pull that together. That's the one issue there. Becca, again, above and beyond, not only, and next week we're doing color and color theory, but this is a good example. The green is used throughout, and that helps tie the whole thing together, including an anchor at the bottom of the page, which that little bar, again, you start here and that having something heavy at the bottom pulls you down through the whole thing. That's really good. Tyler, again, he's Tyler Brown. Very cute, very nice. And again, now, references, and then you skip the page and the references are on a different page. There's enough space here, right here and up here to get it all on one page. Kelsey Callahan with a logo. Very nice. We know that she is an artistic person who, and it's readable. That is very cool. I might, again, no big deal. I might push the logo right in here, but I mean, I'm not going to take off for that. The question I have, and it is a question and I won't take off, is that we talked about last time, relative weight. The fact that this part is a lighter font and this is a heavier font, does this pull your eye down? Again, lovely idea. I think I would probably make this a little bigger, or maybe if it's bold, because the light here and the bold here are kind of fighting with each other a little bit, but it's a lovely idea. And this is fine. Again, the headline on a separate page, that's fine. Okay, that's just background stuff there. Okay, same issue here with Emily. This is bolder, this is a little lighter. We have that issue with the relative weight. I might go a point or two bigger on this. But again, very well organized. References all on one page. You see, you know, the question is one page or two. The answer is it depends. She's got it all on one page, much easier to handle. Okay, again, we have that dominant head. The thing is, this information usually goes under your name. This is kind of floating. We don't know what it goes with. I would flush that left. Reads down well. Again, have that, what we call a bad break. You know, contract work should at least be on onto the next page. Ta-da! Okay, color. Red is a dominant color. I mean, great, readable, right there. Let's see, do we have more reds? Yeah, okay, the red establishes that rhythm. The thing is, red is and we'll do color next week. Red is and this is something to think about. Red is the first color you see. It is a warm color. The green is the teal is a cool color. So this red really stands out. So maybe that's a good thing, but it is something to be aware of. And just having two colors, that's good. You don't need any more than that. Everything else works. This is a nice anchor. If you're gonna another good thing that you're doing really well is if you have a shadow or something like that, you need to make it big so it's not distracting. If this was small, it would be hard to read. So no, that's all good. We'll talk about color next time. The bar, I don't know. When my computer goes on the fritz, it gives you that color, and that sort of pattern before it goes out. That may or may not be something you want to convey.
It's part of my brand already, so.
Okay. Okay. Well, this person doesn't have something. Okay. Just the opposite. This pulls, having her name, last name bold, pulls you that way. Nothing wrong with that. You know, that is something, again, that grabs your attention. It is a good use. It's big and bold enough. We know what she does. Boom, boom, boom. Everything's there. Really good. Good, solid, little extra, nothing wrong with, I mean, this is really solid, you know, so. Okay, Maddie, also good. Let's see what our break looks like. The line is good. Now, okay, honors and volunteer are different thing. These are different things, and so the lines are good there. Again, the issue is this is bold and this is light. This is probably big enough that it's not too much of a problem, but that dominant element should be bold too. So again, see, big bold on top, get your name, and we're doing the pattern all the way through with the green, which is fine. Person in charge, is that a real title?
That's what we call it.
Okay. It's a funny thing. An associate of mine is a driver for Jimmy John's, and he tells me that all these expensive apartments in town are empty. And the real thing going on is the developers are building these big expensive apartments that they're selling it to other developers and nobody could afford to live there. That's my Jimmy John story.
Oh, wow.
And anyway, okay, red really stands out. We haven't done color yet, but I just look at this and you make that decision in that first 2 or 3 minutes that red really stands out more than the black. And if you do that, then make sure that's a reason, that you have a good reason to make something that really stands out. I might eliminate this line, space between them, because that's part of who you are. Anyway, but that's the issue there. Okay. Again, blue is just, a light blue is just the opposite of a red. A light blue does not draw your attention. So we have that issue of having something that's not really, may not be really attention getting, fighting with the black. This is why I'm doing color next week, because people jump ahead. And I didn't say just black and white. And I wanted to kind of, you know, give you that opportunity to want to do that. But, you know, color like space is a whole nother animal. And what we'll do is we'll colorize this week's assignment. But yeah, again, this red is a very attracting color. Blue is not. Anyway. See, boom, right there. Very good, strong, literally and figuratively headline. Nothing. That bad break thing again. Need to push this into the next page and not split that up. Busy, busy, busy. That's good. And Dave Whalen. Again, see how the flush left, you start here and you read across? That it's a different way of looking at things, but I think graphically, and I'm not going to take off for people who centered, I think graphically this is more readable. The problem is the blue. The blue, definitely smaller than these things. If you're going to go there, make it bigger, because you see what he's done rather than the headline. The headline should be bolder than the thing underneath it. And again, then you go down here and you lose it. And you really need something bold at this next page. So you see the issues and how to look at things. Anyway, so I will grade these and you know what the issues are before the end of the day. Now, to move on, I'll set up, we have the InDesign page, how to set up a page, and you do this, it works the same in any software, or at least the same concepts are involved. Before you do anything, and again, I used to do this for the Memphis Commercial Appeal newspaper, before you put anything on the page, you gotta have the page to put it on. Now, if you remember, we started talking about grids and grid patterns on Monday. Well, before you put anything on the page, that's what you need to do. File, new document. Hello. Create new. Oh no. I did this morning already. Okay, it's taking a second. Okay, start something. It defaults to points and picas. Again, it's 72 points an inch, but we default to inches. And we have a sideways page or a tall page. Need to decide that right ahead. And if you saw, my last project was a double truck magazine page, 2 pages together, which is 8 by 17. We're going to do 8.5 by 11. Before you put anything on a page, you got to think of these things. Okay, 1 page, start on page 1. 2 things right here, columns. Remember, I talked about how these pages are set up on columns. Even if we're just working with type, we need to decide what our grid pattern is with columns. Something like this, just to line up our elements. An odd number of columns helps you keep it together. An even number can split your page in half, and you want it to work as a whole page. So I usually work with an even number of columns, and I mean an odd number of columns just to line things up. You know, the columns actually work like your tabs in Microsoft Word. It helps you line things up. Anyway, and your gutter, the space between them. 1.667 is a pica. Ta-da! And here's the page with columns and inset and things like that. And then view. Okay, where's grids? It's been a while. Where is view? Here we go, grids. Show document grid. Ta-da! That allows us to align our vertical elements. Okay, grids and guides and baseline grid. Okay, these are help us. Let me get. Let's see, document grid. Yeah, here's better. Baseline grid. Everything you need horizontally and vertically before you put anything on the page. You need to have your page set up. You need to visualize what you're going to do. Having an odd number of columns allows me to center. It's really harder if I had an even number of columns. So this is just something to know in your head, and you could do this in any software, but before you do your thing, you need to set up your page. And then if you put on pictures or text, today we're just going to work with text boxes. This is your text tool. Here's the basic tools. Here is the move tool. This is the one that moves within a box. This is something, a draw tool. Here is type, draws a line, pens. These is what we'll use much. Frames for pictures, for putting something in. Those are our major tools. Right, today, we're just doing text. And the thing I wanted to do was from Monday, a bad flyer. Let us start with our lead element. This is why we have you do this after the writing course, because just like having a word lead, visually, you need a visual lead, something that's going to stand out. Join us. Who's us? That's a really poor lead. So what's going to be our lead element to start with? Anybody?
Would you use the name of the event?
Yes. Our virtual expo. Everybody knows what the expo is, or should. So go back to that. Boo, boo, boo. Make a box. Here is this. And I will center it. You notice I use my columns to line up my elements. Use the columns and the grids to line. I don't have to have something on every column. The column is used as a guideline to help you figure out what goes where. If I put a picture below it, picture would come on. Okay. Oh, wrong box. That's what happens sometimes. Anyway, it would line up to your columns and be a grid apart. Okay, let's do this again. Text box. Come on. Okay. Okay. Now we type inside. How big? Make it big. A font that says Chamber of Commerce. They would probably like something fairly I don't know. I don't love that font. What's good? And again, something that you're going to, that's not going to be too hard to print. So often, people try to do a fancy font, and it doesn't print when you put it on a printer. So I'll get something that impact. There you go. They want their big and bold. Again, has impact. That's the name of the font. Don't be afraid to make it. This is big, but I have the room. So let's make it bigger. Even bigger. Put it on 2 lines. Don't be afraid to go, you can type it in I have the room. Oops. Let's see. When that happens, I made it too big to fit in the box.
You can expand the box to see
I
it.
could extend the box. But if I extend the box, then I'm screwing up my alignment.
Right. But just to be able to see it and
Yeah, I know, in the short run.
yeah.
Okay, try that again. Do. Expo. That's why it made that this is the letting the space between it. It's 160. Let's make this auto. Let's make that auto and make this. Okay, too much. Okay, big enough, aligned, we're there. Okay, I might make it over. This is the thing I do too much of. I mess around with this a lot, but this is 160. I can make this to fit in. That's too big. Okay, anyway, come on. I erased it. Okay, all right, we'll leave that for now. Let us get our next element. We start lining up our boxes. Basically, what I should be doing is getting all the information on there and then play with, once I have my lead, then I could play with sizes and alignments. So let's go back to our design. Okay, Virtual Expo, Chamber of Commerce, duh. That's the next thing that needs to be there. I might put that in the same box, or move this box down. That's what I'll do. And put the Chamber of Commerce in another box. This is why that alignment matters so much. Okay, make this. Oop. Okay. It's first. And I may make that bold. Prevents its first Virtual Expo. Okay. Then, and I have an extra box in there. Okay. Then dates. Go back to it. Yeah, August. All right. Another box. Edit, paste. Indian probe. Bold. 222. Readable. Okay. And then let's just get this box all set up nicely. Really, I don't love the leading. I hate that. Sometimes you accidentally make an extra box. Go back to this. What we can do. XOCAN. Two. Text box. Pull that into the columns. Paste. Obviously, I'd make that bigger. What's important is the senator, former mayor, put him in a box. I know our current president would like to put him in a box. I would make that bold, and then for more information at the bottom of the page. So, I can make these bigger, but dominant element, top of the page. Here's your important hierarchy of information. Now, what I might do upon looking at it, see, make the box a little bigger here. What I might do is move this box here up because this is more important. And you notice I'm putting the box right on the grid. This is what our grids do for us. So this is one grid from that. Whoop. This definitely needs to be down. One grid here. This print could be one grid here. This should be one grid. I can eliminate a space here. And it's just tightening it up after this. So anyway, this is how you do it. You set it up, you tweak it, you start moving stuff around. But we have our hierarchy, our visual lead. I would make this bigger, play with our spaces, and that's how a bill becomes a law. So yeah, this is how you do a basic sort of thing. You play with it. But once you have an, you know, because so often you have a plan, but when you put it together, it doesn't really work. You could sketch it out with pencil beforehand. A lot of people do that. But if you're going to design on the computer, ta-da, that's how you do it. The important thing is to set up your page first. Now, if I had more columns, I could move this over maybe here, or maybe move it over to the margin. Nothing wrong with any of those things. But you see how we use the columns and our grids to line things up and space them out so they all are neat and regular. That's what really counts here, is that rhythm and pattern. This needs to be moved down just a hair. This is when I used to do this for a living. Well, I did a lot of tweaking, moving, you know, tweaking and moving stuff around. Oop.
Are we using the information in the?
Right, yeah, this is for an example in class. For you, I have information for internships,
Gotcha.
which we're doing online this fall. And I have just got new information on that. Those of you who are interested in doing online internships, I can share that with you. But we have the information from last year that you can use to make a flyer. But this is how we do it. So it's up to you. And again, I'm using InDesign. I have given you information on how you can get it yourself. But you could do the same sort of thing on Word or another program, and I'm not going to stop you. So up to you to do the homework. You have until Friday midnight. You can give me rough drafts or examples, and I'll look at them and give you some comments. If you want to do that early, I'll take rough drafts up until about 4 o'clock Friday. Other questions? And then the next thing we'll do is put this in color. We'll talk about colors next time, and then we'll colorize our flyers from this week, and then we'll move on to photography. All right. Any other things going on? Okay. Well, I think we're set. It is always a pleasure, and we'll do the show and tell on Monday, and we'll show you your flyers, and we'll talk about them, and I'll grade these by today. So this is how this class works. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.